What up, baby? This is your boy, Manuel Godoy. First off, mic check. Please tell me that you hear me clearly. I don't want you to miss any of this information that I'm about to give because it might change your life. So please let me know in the comment section if you hear me. And also, if you hear me, tell me what state you repping right now. What state are you from? Where are you repping? What place should I be knowing I'm talking to when I'm talking to you? Where you from, baby? Let's go. I'm from New York City. I'm based in Delaware. What's good? Yeah, man. We're about to have a great time today. We haven't done this in, I think, about a year and a half, something like that. We haven't done a big career summit and also, report on what we've been doing in the last year, 2 years since our last investment round in Black Sands Entertainment, right? So we're going to do that today. We're going to do that today. What up, Baltimore? We out there working with you right now, man. We're going to get all up in your face soon with our educational opportunities. That's what we're going to be doing, man. We're going to be making some pretty crazy opportunities for you guys out there. It's going to be pretty big when it comes to education, especially for high school students. We got some programs for you. So don't worry about that. All right? What's up? All right, we got our Cali people up in the Bronx. What's up, man? Nebraska, Omaha, what's up, man? What's up? We up in the sticks too. Let's go. Ebony Williams, what's good? How you been? How you been, man? That's my peeps, man. That's my peeps. First of all, since you're here right now, please go ahead and hit that like button if you see it. Share this with some friends if you got them, right? Go ahead and let people know about what's going on in this room. This room is about to get real important real quick. Real important real quick. All right. Today, I'm going to give you a brief overview on what's going on, and then we're going to go into our presentation to talk about all of the things that's going to be happening in 2023 with Black Sands Entertainment, all the progress that we've made so far, and all of the things we're about to do. All right. So this is a very important meeting. Like I said, share it with your friends, throw some text out there, give them the link. Let's get this party cracking. All right. Let's see. Let's go with it. Let's start this presentation up. I'm going to switch it out. Boom. All right. So we are here at the Black Sands Entertainment Yearly Investor Disclosures for 2023 and Career and Investment Summit. So just let you guys know, let me go and pull this over to the side so I can still see your comments. I want to be able to see them in real time, but I won't be answering questions until after the entire presentation is done. All right. So if you have questions, you can throw them out there and maybe some other people can answer you. But when it comes down to it, at the end, that's when we're going to have a large Q&A. I'm going to have massive amount of questions coming to me, and I'm going to be able to answer them for all of you guys, okay? But not right during the presentation. I'll try to be quick, too. I like going through it fast. So we're going to be going quick. So first of all, we're going to have a brief overview on what's been going on in Black Sands from a very high level. So lifetime sales, we actually hit $3 million in lifetime sales. So that's pretty freaking cool for me, man. I'm shocked that we've done that much, right? Because when you look at it from a bigger perspective, you don't really realize you've done that much until you actually go through the financials and you start checking. It's like, wait a minute, we did 3 million? Yeah, we've done $3 million in sales so far in Black Sands, and we did like 2.5 of that 3 million in the last 2.5 years, right? In the last 2.5 years, we've done like freaking $2.5 million. So we've been killing it as far as like the success factor on what our company's done. And this is all business to consumer. So this is me selling to parents. This is me selling to educational institutions and also selling to educators and stuff like that. That's who I'm selling to. That's the people who's buying the books. It's not like we're selling in mass to like major corporations or something. This is like straight up the grind. This is the people's movement. We've also sold 200,000 units. So if you don't know what a unit is, that means books, right? Basically, we sold over 200,000 books lifetime so far. So we've been killing it, man. We really have been killing it. We have a huge Patreon community, and it's just been an incredible experience. It's been a very long experience. We're now 6 years into this. 6 freaking years, you know, and many of you people, many of the people that's attending this meeting right now have been with us the entire time, have been with us since 2017 when we had Kids to Kings. I know it. I know a lot of you people right now in this crowd have been with us for freaking ever. That your kids own our books, right? It's really a phenomenal experience to know that this generation, the next generation, was heavily influenced by the work we did, not the work that Manuel Godoy did, but the work that Manuel Godoy did and Giselle Godoy, right? That was elevated by the Black community saying that we were the proper leaders for this movement, right? It wouldn't have been possible if you guys didn't say you guys are the right people to lead this movement. So I know for a fact that I'll never forget that my community chose me as a leader. And because I stayed true to them and I stayed true to their ideals, right, and their agenda, I was successful. So I'll never forget that. Don't ever think I'm gonna flip the script later on. I am 100% a rogue in this space. I will never sell out for anybody. You know what I mean? All right, let's keep it moving. So, what's the first major thing that we're planning on doing after this investment round that's about to come up? And I'll go deep dive into what the investment round means and everything. But our biggest objective out of everything that we're planning on doing in the next year and a half is selling to schools and libraries. This is literally the bedrock of what the heck we're going to be doing for the next 2 years. This is it. So, we have $1 million educational sales challenge. That's what we're going to be freaking going on. And our first step is going to be to hire a whole bunch of sales reps and institutional people who are able to go and open those doors individually on the district level for schools all across the East Coast of America and California. All right. So these sales reps will be knocking it down for us. We want to hit around $500,000 in sales per semester when it comes to schools and libraries. Once we hit that milestone, we're going to assign regional directors to control the reorder process. So if you don't understand how school distribution works, once you get into a district, in the district level, they'll order a lot of books from you. But if the books are satisfactory to the students and the teachers' needs, they're going to basically allocate resources to you in the next semester, so long as you're keeping in contact with them, so long as you're building that relationship with them. And that's why we're going to have regional directors at that point build these long-lasting relationships with these districts in order to get the next order to come in at the same hit that the last one came in. So the hard part is getting the original order. But once you get that first one, you should be able to get orders from then on until the end of time, so long as you keep those relationships. So that's what the expansion is. We're going to maintain at least $1 million in sales per semester. And then eventually, if we freaking really do our job well, we'll hit $2 million in sales per semester by the year 2025. That's what we want to have. We want to have close to $20 to $30 million a year from just school distribution, right? And that's that because we want to be educators, right? We're edutainment. That's what Black Sands, the brand, is. We're bringing the culture of Black history to our kids once and for all. We're no longer going to talk about slave stories. We're not going to talk about trauma. And I'm so happy that I finally get to accept my skin color. I'm so happy I finally get to accept the hair on my head. We're not going to sell those stories. We're not going to make those stories. We're going to make stories about African kings, queens, vigilantes. I don't give a damn what it is, so long as they're doing something great with their lives and we can use them as an example for our future. That's what we want to have, and that's what we only focus on, and that's why we're going to be dominating in these schools, because these kids need that stuff instead of all the trauma that's out there right now for our kids. We deserve a lot better, and that's what Black Sands is about. Let's move on. So now we're getting into the nitty gritty. All right. So this is the nitty gritty. In all honesty, I am open. I just saw a comment about Black inventors. I am open to making an entire series based off of Black inventors. All right. Like we'll definitely be talking about that one day, where we're going to just straight up fund a whole series on Black inventors. You know what I mean? Because I like that idea of just Black inventors making stuff and having cool little episodes of it. Right, about all the cool stuff that they had to go through to get that, Dr. Stone type things, right? But with Black inventors. So we'll see what happens. We'll try to make it happen for sure. That is something that I definitely feel is super positive and something that fits the brand of Black Sands. So development traction, comics. So as far as comic development goes, Black Sands has been gaining a lot of traction. Our season 1's almost done. We're on chapter 13 right now, working on chapter 14 of Black Sands, and the end of the season is chapter 17. So once we get to chapter 17, the whole first arc of Black Sands is done. We're also expanding the Black Sands universe to increase general sales. A lot of people don't know about this, so this is new information that you guys have never heard from any other source. I'm gonna give you the real numbers. So in the last year and a half, we have invested $100,000 in new titles from other creators. These titles include stuff like Flame, Muntu Warriors, Madagascar, Mask of the Orisha, Lion's Game, Granada Shadow. These are all titles that are other people's titles that we paid for. We paid to make these titles, right? And we've invested $100,000, and we've done about gross $220,000 in sales from those titles so far. And that means that we're at a net of $120,000. So it actually is, what's it called? It is beneficial to bet on Black. So you know how all the time they'd be like, "Nah, man, you can't invest in black people. You can't rely on Black business. You know, you can't rely on the Black customers. They ain't gonna get you where you need to be. You need to expand. You need to broaden your market." You know how they always say that stuff, right? Well, I'm net $120,000 by betting on Black. So what does that mean to you? It means that maybe if you guys will stop going and bucking your eyes, maybe if you stop trying to go and reach out to everybody else in the universe, you would be successful with your own community. Your community has a lot of power if you just simply be true to your community and stop trying to go and be nice and be considerate to other people. They're not your core customer. Stop acting like a fool and start making content exclusively for your community. If they want to enjoy the content, that's perfectly fine for them. If they want to enjoy the content made for Black people, that's perfectly fine for them. But don't go out your way to make it for them. Tyler Perry didn't do that. Tyler Perry didn't say, you know what? I want to make a movie for some other community. Nah, he said, I'm making the same movies. I'm making the same shows, the same plays for the community that I've had since day one. And I'm not going to change. If you like it too, congratulations. If you're also a fan of my stuff, congratulations. But I'm not going to make stuff exclusively for you. I'm not going to change my way now that I'm famous. I'm going to keep making the same content for my core customers. And like I said, I just bet on Black and it worked out. So holla at your boy. Now we publish over 50 chapters of comics. All right. So we have over 50 individual chapters of comics. A lot of the patron members. So if you're a patron subscriber, you have access to all these. Like I just did a post about 2 days ago releasing all the comic books that we've done so far in digital. So you have a link to that. You can download all those comic books yourself right now. If you haven't yet, because a lot of people don't check their emails. So just check your emails, see about those updates, and download all the comic books because you deserve them. You're the reason why they were created in the first place. So, that's the traction going on so far when it comes to comic development. Now, what careers are there in the comic development space? So here are things that most likely we're going to be looking for after this investment round in May 7th. That's going to be editors. Obviously, we need editors, right? Some of our grammar is terrible, including mine's. So I'm going to need an editor to go and make sure that I don't mess up and all the other creators don't mess up as well. We need writers and ghostwriters. There's no shame in using ghostwriters. I know a lot of people say, oh, man, you can't use ghostwriters. Why not? Why not? It's my story. It's my story. If I don't have time to write it, someone else can write it for me, right? Why not use a ghostwriter? So I'm a big believer in, if you built everything, if you built the empire and you freaking just simply don't have time to make all the content, it shouldn't be a dishonorable thing. Just do it, man. That's what a CEO is. A CEO is not going to build a car, but he made the car happen. You know what I mean? So we gonna hire a lot of people regardless. Artists, we need artists. Obviously, I'm always in need of artists. So Anybody who's a comic book artist, definitely holla at your boy after the investment round. We need artists no matter what. And then this is an unusual position, but lore master. So lore master is actually somebody who's more into like D&D, has a very strong background in D&D. These kind of people are basically helping me build out the universes that exist that are very profitable. So if we have very profitable just IPs, like let's say Black Sands is super freaking like the IP itself is super lucrative, right? We want to build an entire verse for that IP, which means that we need people who can talk about locations, build locations out, build out the topography, build out which people are there and what they eat and what they sell and what the other things. And all those elements are going to be useful to any writers who are going to be writing stories in the Black Sands universe, as well as fans who want to do like fan stuff. So if they want to do fan stuff, they want to have a basis for what they're making, right? And that's what the lore masters are going to be doing. So lore masters is a very unique job, but it is a job that is going to be available at Black Sands very soon. So that's what's up, right? Now let's talk about B2B. So if you don't know the vernacular, B2B means business to business, traction and distribution. So the sales so far, we've established strong relationships with Amazon via Publishers Group West. So Amazon buys a lot of books from us through Publishers Group West. So they're a good partner to have. We'll expand on that very soon. We have media partnerships as well. We have a lot of media companies that actually talk about us all the time. And I think those relationships will stand over the test of time. Key social justice influencers. So there's a lot of social justice people who are very big allies with me. You would think it would be rappers. You would think it would be rappers and people of the culture, right? The people who push the culture for the black community. But I've noticed that rappers, celebrities, and everybody else, they're not very reliable when it comes to going out there and going to bat for the movement. But you know who is reliable? Social justice influencers. People who go out there and talk about social justice, social issues, politics. They're the ones who actually go put their neck out there and try to support the brands that are trying to empower and embolden the black community. You know what I'm saying? One of my biggest partners out there or influencers is Sean King. Sean King's always been cool with us. He's given us interviews. He's putting us on his platform. He's always been a big backer of what we're doing as a whole. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the one who believes 100% that, people who actually take action are the ones you care about. He said, all these people out there talking about what they want to do and stuff. What is the actions? What is the actions? You know what I mean? And I believe that the people who take action are the ones that we really need to be investing in. They're the ones that we really need to be allying with. We started school distribution. We've done school distribution in a big freaking way. So basically what school distribution is, we just did a massive deal with Birmingham City Schools. We did like $37,000 in one purchase order. We're also expanding in curriculum. So we have some curriculum right now that's going on in advanced courses for high school. That's being currently distributed in throughout 3 different states. And this is huge because, first of all, these are very expensive programs. They're really strong programs, but we're starting to invade in the space that we were basically not in. Nobody was in this space as far as like educational sales, educational freaking programs. They're not big in this, not black people anyway. And we're finally starting to get some momentum in this space, and hopefully we can take some market cap. Right? We want to take market cap away from other people so that we could be taken very seriously. So that's a huge play that's happening right now. And there are opportunities in those places. Let's talk about those opportunities. So B2B career opportunities. Let's go. Expansion. We need account managers. Account managers are basically people who are going to go and get in contact with regional representatives of districts. So let's say it's a school district in Ohio, right? Let's say we're going to Ohio and we need to go and get into a district, a school district that we think is a really good bet for Black Sands to be widely distributed. An account manager will literally contact that district, find out who's in charge of acquisitions or curriculum, right? Who actually makes the decision-making process there. And then they would go and build a relation with them, start meetings with them, and try to secure, opportunities to actually do an actual purchase order with that community. If they're capable of doing that, then they've significantly helped our business throughout. People who can do this on a consistent basis will eventually be upgraded to regional directors. Regional directors are the big bang. That's the big money makers in Black Sands. So let's say an account manager might make $20,000-$30,000 over the year. It's a part-time job, right? They do it when they have time, right? So account managers are kind of like just building relationships, right? But people who excel at that, people who are great at that, will have regional director jobs, and that's going to be 100,000 or more a year, right? 100,000 or more a year for a regional director. They're going to be in charge of a lot of accounts, and they're probably going to be at least responsible for $500,000 or more in sales every single year, right? So they're going to get paid a lot because they're bringing a lot to Black Sands as a whole. As far as scouts is concerned, scouts are looking for any opportunities that are available out there. So they're going to be the ones who are getting us contacts for people. Account managers are going to be making the sale. Scouts are most likely going to be getting us the initial information we need to get to that sale in the first place. So scouts are going to be the people who are going to find these opportunities out there, special funding, special grants, whatever. That's what their job is. They're going to find us the right opportunities. PR is PR, right? We need press. So we want to make an internalized version of our PR team. We want to build a PR team internally. Lastly, influencers. If you're big on social media, if you have a social media following that's loyal and engages a lot, we want to work with you. We want to put money in your pocket so that you're championing the brand Black Sands, right? And you're championing it hard. So, be prepared for that. If you're one of those people who have a large following, definitely 100% reach out to us. It has to be a loyal following, right? We don't care about how many followers you have if nobody says anything, right? But if they're talking, if they're engaging with you and everything else, we want to be a part of your that community as well, because you guys make all the difference in the world whenever we have initiatives. So definitely be hollering at me if you are one of them. Let's see what else. Multimedia traction. So multimedia traction basically means anything else besides books, right? Obviously we have comic books, but anything else. So we secured video game production team. That's awesome. That means we actually have a video game in development right now. It's basically Octopath Traveler, but way more beautiful, right? And Black Sands. That's basically the game that we're developing right now. Tactical RPG. It's amazing, and it might land with Xbox. We're trying very hard to get Xbox to go into an exclusive with us. So we'll give you more updates on that as in the months coming on where that's landing. And we'll also give you some beta features and everything else. We'll also try to get some demos out for our patron members so they can go and actually try to play the game and test out some of the features. That's going to be pretty cool. We're almost done finishing the development of we just finished the development of Black Sands, the series, the show. So development is where you make everything for what a show would need, right? And now you're trying to sell the show. So that's what we're currently doing. We're currently trying to sell the show now, get it to a certain network or whatever, so they can fund the entire show and we can get it out there. But we're done with development. We've been doing that for the last couple of years. We're completely done with developing the IP for Black Sands as a series. We're going to make novels and novellas. That's going to be really cool. That's where those writing opportunities come from. Novels and novellas are going to be a big thing for us in the future because, comic books are capped by manpower. If you don't have enough manpower, you can't go but so fast when it comes to making comic books. So novels and novellas are going to be a great way to keep making more content while not stressing out our manpower. We're also going to be animating 11 episodes of our motion comic series on YouTube, right? So a lot of animator studios, and also voice actors are going to be needed for this production. All right. Now let's go into the actual career opportunities in this space. So when it comes to production, we're going to be needing people like voice actors. Voice actors is going to be very needed for not only the motion comics, but also the video game production. The video game production is probably going to need a couple of voice actors as well. We need studio animation. So while I do like having one or two good animators, I don't really need one or two good animators. What I really need is a studio that can handle a couple episodes, right? So there's a little team, right? Maybe 3 or 4 animators working together in order to basically make these motion comics. These motion comics are 15 to 20 minutes long each per episode. So that could take a while, and I don't want to take forever, right? So I'm gonna need I'm gonna need 2 or 3 different studios to handle that. So if you are a leader of a team, then that's gonna be a great opportunity for you to get a couple of contracts for these motion comics. Coding, I think we might need some more manpower when it comes to video game production. We'll see. That's kind of on their side. So I'm just going to be able to recruit for them. So the production team might say, hey, we want to have this. And if you can go and give a shout out to your fans for this particular position, right, then I'll be doing that for them. So there might be opportunities there. UI design is important no matter where you go, whether it's website, whether it's video game, whether it's visual novel, I don't know, right? But I think UI designers are going to be very important in the future, so keep an eye on that. Project managers as well. Project managers are going to be very important, especially when it comes to stuff like novel series, other things, all these creative processes. We're going to need project managers. And lastly, we're going to need a casting director, right? I don't want to do the voice acting, judging. I don't want to do that. I don't I've done it before and it was brutal. I want a casting director. So anybody who has casting directing experience, has done casting directing on other projects, please holla at me before the next investment round. I want to have a casting director put in place early. I want them to go through all the episodes from episode 7 through like 13 right now, and divvy up the scripts so we can have actual price points. Will say how much this person is actually going to make making this character, right? If they get this character, how many lines, all this stuff. I want this all organized before the investment round's over, right? So I'm gonna need a casting director pretty early in order to go through all the scripts and all the comics and get that all lined up for the freaking competition when it begins. All right. And that's good for that. Key initiatives post regulation CF. So what's gonna happen after the regulation CF? And I'll answer all those questions. If you got questions right now about what's the requirements and everything else, I'll answer them at the end. All right. Key initiatives post regulation CF. So after the investment round, here's what we're going to be focusing on. Finished productions of the YouTube series. That's just going to cost us money. It's not going to make us money at all. This is 100% a fan project. All right. So we're going to have to invest roughly $100,000 into making the YouTube series. That's why I'm making sure that anybody who's going to be a voice actor in the series needs to be a patron, because I'm trying to not bleed money to death in order to make this, right? So having patrons will always be a great benefit to basically making these things that people just want, but are not necessarily uh, financially a good bet for Black Sands, right? Those YouTube series are definitely 100% not making me money at all. But people want them. People want them. People want to be able to show their kids in real time with real actors. So we're going to be investing in that. Massively invest in school distribution. We hope to be net neutral on that. So if we put $500,000 into school distribution, we want to make at least $500,000 in sales, net neutral, right? We want to make. So hopefully we can get to that. The reason for that plan is very simple. The next semester, you don't have to fight so hard for sales. So if you're spending $500,000 in order to get $500,000 in sales in a semester, next semester, you'll get roughly $500,000 in sales while spending maybe $50,000, because all you got to do is just maintain those relationships. They're going to order again, so long as they had a positive experience the first time, right? So the initial sale is a beast. The secondary sale is extremely easy, right? So that's what we're saying with that. We want to kind of break even on the initial massive investment we're doing in school distribution. Finish the video game and make a distribution deal. That's a net positive. But we have very good plans on how to go and fund the video game. So we're going to be funding that either through a new investment round, right? Or we're going to fund it through an exclusive deal with like a platform like Xbox or PlayStation or whatever the heck, right? So those are the two paths for that. We have very strong relationships with those companies. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll get more updates on that one in the future. Sell rights to the animated series. That's always a net positive. We're not spending money on the animated series anymore. So if that does happen, it'll be a huge net positive for our company as a whole. And then massively increase the production of books. Books sell. We've always been net positive on books. So more books equals more money. Right? So that's just going to be a net positive in general. So we're going to expand. Future investment rounds. Let's go back. Future investment rounds. So we plan to do another CF round on May 7th. So all you guys here know about the investment round on May 7th, right? That's for the public. The public gets to invest in Black Sands on May 7th. With that being said, the patrons and the previous investors get to invest on April 1st. Might be a little bit later, but April 1st is what we're gunning at for early access for the investors. So I'll get more detail on that in the next slide. The other investment round that might happen this year, it really depends on what happens with the video game production. But if the production of the video game is not exclusive to a platform, so if Xbox wants it exclusively, they're going to pay for it. They're going to pay for the whole video game, right? But let's say if Xbox doesn't want it exclusively, right? And we're going to be able to put it on Steam, PlayStation, whatever single platform out there, then we're going to fund it by other means. So we're going to do an investment round with you guys again, and this is going to be a profit sharing round. So in other words, you guys are going to get profits, right, based off of the actual production. So your profits is going to be based on how well the game does, right? If the game fails, then you all lose. I lose too, right? If it wins, then everybody wins. Everybody gets money, right? So that's how it's going to work if we have to do it that way. That's kind of an optional investment round. It might not happen at all. Depends on what happens with the companies that we're going to be talking to. Let's see what else. All right. So the next investment round details. These are the details that you need to know about the next investment round that'll be happening on May 7th. So this is an investment round specifically into Black Sands Entertainment, the corporation, the big one, the one that owns everything. All right. So this is way different from what you've seen in the past because we haven't had an investment round in Black Sands Entertainment in 2.5 years. All right. People have been asking us every single day, hey, can I invest in the company? Can I invest in there? I really want to invest in the company. Well, now you can. The minimum price is going to be $100. All right. The stock price will increase from the last investment round. Our company's grown dramatically. Right. The valuation will be based on the growth of the company since the last round in 2020. All right. It's going to be preferred shares. You're going to own stock. It's going to be preferred shares. We'll be selling around 5% of the company. And the first 500,000 invested will receive 10% bonus shares. This is probably the most important information you need to know if you're an investor. The first $500,000 invested in this $1.5 million round will have 10% bonus shares, which means if you invest $1,000, you're going to get $100 in extra stock. Do you understand? If you invest $1,000, you will get $100 in bonus stock until we hit the number of $500,000 invested. That's very clear. All right. Patron members and previous investors will have early access at least a month in advance of the public launch. So they're going to have a whole month dedicated to running up the numbers before we go public and give everybody on social media and the world the link to our investment round. All right. So there's a lot of exclusivity in there. I love rewarding my people first, giving them the best price for stock first. So that's why we do that. We've done it for the last 3 years straight, and it's always worked out incredibly for our community. So happy for you guys. You're going to get bonus stock when you get it. It's going to be amazing for you, okay? Lastly, our in-person summit. So this is the first time. I remember I told you guys a long time ago in the first investment round we ever did that we're going to have annual summits. We're going to have annual conventions for Black Sands. Then COVID hit. Right? COVID hit and totally put a monkey wrench in all our stuff. But this year we're actually going to go back to our original plan, which means in Harlem, New York, at the Schomburg Center on May 7th, we're going to have a summit. We're going to be all together. Every last one of you guys are going to be there with me, and we're going to have a summit on May 7th. Now, the tickets are going to be available on Eventbrite. I already sent you guys this email earlier today. So you should have received the email if you're on any of my email list. You received an email earlier today. Please look up M. Godoy at blacksandsentertainment.com, or just look up M. Godoy and you should find me in there. I might be hiding in your promotions tab because for some reason, some people it lands in the promotions tab. But go and look up M. Godoy, and you're going to see in that email, I'm going to give you a special discount code of 50% off for your tickets until the end of Sunday. This is a live event. We will have multiple panels and book signings. Other creators on the Black Sands, like King Lion, Mask of the Orishas creators, all those people, Muntu Warriors, they're all going to be there at the event so they can sign books, so they can talk to you guys. You can learn from them. We're going to have crazy, amazing panels. We're going to have some celebrities in attendance as well. And we're going to be discussing a lot of things. We're going to be discussing careers. We're going to be meeting our investors so we can talk to them and actually hug them and get pictures and everything else. We're going to be accepting resumes. I don't care what anyone says this. I know when I put out an application, right, that I kind of want to look for the best person in an application. But the reality is this, right? There is bias. There is definitely bias in the world. And if I meet you in person and I like your vibe in person, I don't know what's going to happen. But if I'm looking for somebody who I'm going to be working with very closely over the next couple of years, I kind of want to be able to get along with them. Right? So it might give you a little bit of an unfair advantage if I meet you and you're actually a really cool person, a very smart, articulate person. I might, bump you up a bit in the hiring process, just the way it is. Right? So, definitely be there so you can network with other creators as well. Definitely be there so you can network with business owners. Maybe you have a service that you want to offer us that we might need. Right? Maybe you're a printer. Maybe you're a graphics designer. I don't know. But being there is very important because you're going to be in an experience with other professionals in the space who ain't fake, right? These people aren't randos. Like, you don't see random people there. You're going to see people who have been in this for years, who have been investors for years, right? And they've seen their investment grow. So they're not like, oh man, you know how you've been to like these career summits and it'll be nobody knows anything. Nobody's had an experience with this company before, right? And they're all trying to sell you a course. Hey, come here so I can sell you a course. Nah, most of the people who's going to be at the investor summit already own stock in our company. You know what I mean? So these are people who are already seen the returns, already seen their stock grow, right? And now they just want to hang out. Now they just want to be with the creators and meet us and have just a great time. And since it's on launch day, we're going to launch the freaking campaign live on the freaking big screen. We got a huge stadium in there where it has 300 seats. So we're all going to be in there, 300 seat stadium, watching in real time as the campaign launches and seeing the number go up, seeing their stock price go up from $1 back in the beginning of 2020 to $4 and whatever the heck the price is now. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, damn, that's a good number for me, right? These investors are going to be happy. It's going to be one of the greatest experiences in your life. It really will. So I sent you that email. Please check your emails, right? Please check your emails. And go and get your ticket now if you can. You can even leave this meeting for a second in order to get that done. It's very important that you get your tickets. It's in Harlem, the Schomburg Center. It's a very historic Black history center. So this is like the Schomburg Center is like for Black studies, Black culture, Black history. It's like the biggest one in the entire nation, right? And they're only giving us this space because we've done so much in the Black community that they like, hey, you can be here. We don't sell this space. They don't sell it. Like, they don't sell anybody space in the Schomburg because they have their own events, massive events. So we're very lucky and fortunate that they allowed us to be there. And that's why it's going to be so historic. That's why it's going to be such an amazing event. So like I said, I gave you the links in the emails. I can't give it here. Because there's a lot of public people here who are not a part of our community yet. They will be, but they're not a part of it yet. And I want to make sure that the people who are attending are actually people who've been with us for a couple of years. So if you got that email, go and get them tickets sometime around. Now we're going to open it up to questions. So Fill the question bar up. All right. I'm answering questions this entire time. Like I said, I'll answer all your questions in very deep detail. Don't worry about if your questions too strong or whatever. I'm gonna answer them. So let's start off with oh yeah, that's true too. That's true too. Giselle just said something very important. So here we go. You will be fender. Yeah. So people who are the big investors. So if you're a big investor in the company back in the day, a lot of them forgot to get their tickets. They just haven't gotten them yet. So if you're a big investor and you have proof of that, you show me exactly how much you invested, either $1,000 or $5,000. We typically will refund your ticket after the event. So once you've shown us their stock paperwork and stuff like that, we're going to refund your ticket. But you have to have qualified. So you had to have been one of the bigger investors in the original rounds and gotten that perk as a VIP ticket holder for life, right? Those are the people who are going to be refunded. But the overwhelming amount of investors will just have regular tickets, right? The regular ticket, and that won't be refunded. It's only refunded for the biggest investors in the first two rounds that were qualified for those tickets. You know who you are. You invested like $5,000. So we got you. All right. For everybody else, it's just going to be straight up. You got your ticket, you go in, whatever. The Harlem event's going to be pretty impressive. All right. Let's see here. Do you have any t-shirts for sale? Nope. I don't got any for those. Are you still looking for computer animators? Nope, we're not looking for animators right now. Not that kind, right? We're kind of looking for people who can make motion comics. That's going to be very important. Motion comics. Voice acting requirements. All right, we're going to go into the details on voice acting requirements. Most likely, the casting director is going to decide that. But I will tell you this: unless you're a patron member, you won't be able to compete. You have to be on patron or an investor. You can be an investor too. So if you're planning on buying stock, you're going to qualify too. You just got to check your WeFunder updates. But if you're an investor or a patron member, you'll be able to apply for the voice acting. That's like literally 6,000 plus applicants. So I don't want to have any more. So, so we're going to keep it in our community. And most of the time, the way I did it in the past, the requirements were very basic. You had to make sure your quality of your submissions were high enough, right? So if you had background noise, popping, that kind of crap, you have popping in there, static, your volume's too low, whatever. Things that are very like little professional things that you need to watch out for. Those are mostly the disqualifiers. After that, it's all based on talent, right? Are you the best person for the character? But that's like on the second round. The first round's really going to weed out all of the unprofessional takes, weed them out. The second round's going to be who's actually hitting the character the way we want them to be hit. So it's going to be more directions in the second round. And then finally, we're done. So that's how it's going to work. There's going to be 15 characters, 15 plus characters. I think it's going to be more than 15, including the main cast. So Asar, Seth, Nabet, and Offset, they're all going to be up for grabs. Will there be a link to provide my investment seed funds? If you're talking about investing into the company, yes, the link will be available at the end on May 7th. On May 7th, we're going to give it to everybody. If you're a patron member, you'll get access on April 1st to April 7th. We got to figure out, we got to finish the audit first. Audits are pretty grueling, but I believe we'll be done with the audit no later than the first week of April. And then you'll all get the link to the investment round to beginning investing in the company and securing your shares. Is there any update to the Kickstarter comics? We're working on it right now. So remember, you guys don't get anything until the whole season is done. So once the entire season of Black Sands is finished, episode 17, then we're going to print them. We're going to print the regular versions, the hardcover versions, and then we're also going to print the anniversary edition, limited edition versions. We're going to sign them all, we're going to seal them, and then we're going to send them to you. It might take a while. The earliest projections are the end of June, right? But it might be longer than that because, it's manpower. Everybody has to be moving at super fast speeds. So we might not be done with 17 chapters by the end of June, right? So, but like I said, this is a very exclusive product. So Nobody's ever going to be able to get these anniversary edition hieroglyph versions of the comics. So, just be patient with me, okay? It's a huge collection. It's a huge collection. Uh Someone said I haven't received a return yet. You don't get cash. So you don't get cash from us, you don't get dividends. Your stock price goes up. So if you have stock, your stock price was $1 in 2020, right? In the first round. If your stock price is now $4.90, right? Your stock value has gone up by close to 5 times the initial investment. So if you invested $1,000, your stock is now worth 5,000 roughly, right? So that's how investment works, especially in these early stages. You can't sell your shares yet until we go public, right? But your portfolio is based entirely off of what our company does, as far as like what we've how if we've grown, if we failed, or whatever. So while you might not have received a return, you definitely benefited from our success. And so long as we keep succeeding and then eventually we go public, right? That's when you could sell all your shares and actually put money in your hand, right? But that day is not going to be soon. It's not going to be anytime soon, right? Because we're still growing. We're still in the early stages. Okay, I hear here we're really interested in voice acting. When should we expect auditions? The end of May. All right, the end of May is when you should expect the casting to begin. I need money first. Like I said, like I said, this is going to be $100,000 investment into these motion comics. So until I actually start getting the money from the investment round, I really got my hands tied behind my back. Right, I can't really do anything until that happens. So, end of May is the earliest I would say the next casting round will begin. We're definitely going to be looking for the casting directly earlier. So if you ever have experience in directing an entire production as far as the casting is concerned, shoot your shot. We need those. We need those early, way before it begins. So we'll see about that. Uh, What if you can't make it to the summit? Yeah, if you can't make it to the summit, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not being able to make it to the summit. The summit is for the super fans. The summit is for the investors and all the people who are like down for the cause. So you don't have to be there in order to invest. The link is going to be online, right? You can click the link and invest on wefunder.com. That's not a problem, right? This is for the people who want to see us, want to meet us, want to be a part of the big events and everything else, want to shoot their shot for careers or whatever, or meet other business owners, collaborate, whatever. That's what the summit is for. The summit is for people who want to have that big, giant personal experience with us, right? So it's not for everybody, right? But people who will be going, they're going to have a great time. You know what I mean? And we already sold like 40 tickets. So I don't even know how many tickets were just bought recently when we're having this video right now. Like I said, check your emails for that link. We got the link in the emails with the discount code. You can get your tickets there. It's like $50 plus the fees. That's it if you use the discount code. And like I said, you have to travel to New York, Harlem. It's a beautiful place, beautiful venue. You're going to enjoy it. All right. So here's a question from a teacher, right? So we got somebody here who does STEM programs in Delaware, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. Uh, in all honesty, you probably be a really good candidate for some of the programs that we're going to be having. So me personally, I would look at those programs and see when we start revealing those programs for our educational expansion to apply for those, right, when they open. And see if you could be either a teacher, because some of our programs require teaching, or if you could be account manager, right? Building those accounts in those areas, Philadelphia, especially New Jersey. New Jersey is very pro-black right now. New Jersey has mandatory pro-black history, curriculum, and all that stuff, and they're expanding it mostly to go and push back against Florida. So New Jersey is very, very, very active right now in black initiatives. So we should definitely be targeting New Jersey very hard when it comes to school distribution, programming, everything, because New Jersey's definitely buying. They're definitely buying right now. Let's see. How do I contact you for artist positions? In all honesty, just DM me on Instagram with your portfolio is the best option, right? That's just to keep me aware of you. I'll follow you if you're actually a good creator. If you're a good creator that we're needed, I'll definitely follow your account and see, like, keep an eye on you for when we do have recruitments and stuff. A lot of people have worked with me in the past because of that. They've talked to me, showed me their work on what they're doing in comics, and I follow them. And then when opportunities come, I say, hey, what's your page rate? What's whatever? What's your schedule? Right? Can you work on this full time? And then we go and hire people. This is 100% usually done internally through Patreon. So if you're not used to our Patreon community, which you can find at patreon.com/blacksands, uh, we always have competitions. Madagascar is a patron book. Somebody won a competition for a writing competition in order to become a patron, become a published writer under our company for that. Lions Game, patron. Granada Shadow, patron. The novellas that we're about to do for the Kushite Empire, all patron winners, 5 of them. So most of our competitions when it comes to writing, when it comes to being a writer in the Black Sands, is exclusively through Patreon and it's guided. So you don't come at me with a new idea. I tell you what I think is going to work for success in the company. And then you're going to make your version of that idea in the competition. Right. So that's how it works. That's how it works with our company. It's been very successful so far. And just shoot your shot whenever the competitions happen on Patreon. When they happen, compete. We usually have about 100, 120 applications per competition. Uh, if I can't make it to the summit, will you still accept resumes, CVs, and portfolios? No, no, we won't. We won't. He said the main thing is I get hammered with solicitations all the time. So, so this is a special consideration for the live event. I will not be accepting anybody's resumes, CVs, portfolios. For most things, I will be accepting them for the educational sales because educational sales is very, very, very specific. You got to have a lot of experience in this space to qualify to help us, right? So that's going to be the world's going to be able to apply for that. But voice acting, artists, freaking comic book ideas, publishing your actual title. Let's say you have a comic and you want it sold under Black Sands. These are things that I am not going to be accepting from everybody in the universe. If you're there at the event, then I'll look at your stuff, give you an opportunity to go and pitch yourself to me. But 100%, I get solicited all the time, and I'm not about that life at all. This is a good question. Now that the BSP app is being discontinued, I guess you will not be looking at signing new comic series, but focus on novels instead. Yeah, for the most part. For the most part, comic series, uh, we have internal initiatives, like I said, with Patreon. So if I believe a comic series can be made, right, that will be successful, I'll have a competition for it. The winner will get funding. The winner will get a team assigned to them, artist team assigned to them, and they'll make a comic book series based off of what I feel is good for the market. But as far as like looking for other people's titles and other people's stuff and then getting them on our platform, that's a very rare thing. I don't like that process. I rather it's a brand new production uh from the best writer who competed in the competition. That's usually how it works. Yeah, the stock price will be increased when people can invest. So, regardless if you invest early on like April, right? If you're early access, the price already went up. So, the price already went up. We don't have a definitive number yet, but it'll be ready for when people start investing in April, right? And it won't change. It won't change until the investment round is over. Are we doing augmented reality? No, it's not something that we're looking at right now. We're just not looking at that right now. Uh Yeah. Are there any hotel rooms reserved in the area? In all honesty, I'm not going to be discussing. I'm not going to look for that until we have at least 200 tickets sold. Once we have about 200 tickets sold, we'll start contacting local hotels, right, to see if we can reserve a whole bunch of like hotel spot rooms at a great rate, right, for our attendance. So I need at least 200 tickets sold before that happens, right? But we're close there. We're close there already. You know, people are starting to buy the tickets like crazy now. So we'll see. Some people have the link already to the investment round because they were previous investors. All I'm going to say is this: you haven't invested yet. You haven't invested yet. If it'll say reserve your investment. That's not really investing. All right. You didn't give any money yet or nothing. So when the terms are filed, when the filing with the SEC is done, they're going to say, now you can actually invest and put money in. That's when your stock is actually bought. So I'd be careful about that. Make sure to keep an eye on that. Don't think that you invested already and that you don't have to do anything anymore. They're going to ask you to put your money in once the round goes live. So just be careful about that. It looks like you did, and some people believe that. But I remember in our last investment round, we were in reserve mode for like 3 months because we weren't done with our audit yet, and at least 200,000 of that $500,000 that was reserved never got collected. People never actually finished their investment because they thought they already did it. They thought they already invested, and they haven't yet. So just be careful about that. Be careful about that. Is it possible to apply for multiple positions? Yep. Why not? Go right ahead. They're not all going to be available at the same time. So I would have no clue. I would have no clue if you applied for multiple writing and artist positions. I would have no clue because they're not all going to happen at the same time. Making any moves in Atlanta? We used to go to conventions there all the time. We used to go conventions there all the time. Dragon Con, MomoCon, Atlanta weekend. I mean, Anime Weekend Atlanta. We might go back to those shows again. We haven't done shows in a while, but you never know. You never know with this new initiative. We might be out there big. Okay, how long is the convention? It's going to be 1 day, just 1 day on a Sunday. So May 7th on a Sunday. It's going to be 4.5 hours long. So it's not a long convention. It's not going to be like you're not going to be there all day, right? You can actually fly in and get out on the same day if you felt like it, right? And it's going to have about four panels, four major panels, and a whole bunch of like getting together, talking. We have a lot of different locations in the area, so we can space out. You can get out of the freaking the panel room and just experience and talk to people and meet the writers and creators and everything else. Get some books, right? Take some photos. So there's plenty of like space to move around and whatever when you're not in when you're not in the main uh theater, listening to panels and being a part of that. So it's a cool experience. It's short and it's to the point. We don't want to take everybody's time. People are gonna be traveling. People have families and stuff like that. So we know we want to be in and out. As far as like hotels connected to it, I don't think so. I don't think so. Harlem is not really like very commercial. The area is not very commercial. So I don't know if there's any hotels that are really close by. But the Schomburg Center is a very specific location. It's a very specific location that has its own space and it's kind of isolated. So, it's a really cool place, but it's not really connected to like a lot of commercial stuff. So I'm a really strong writer with an MFA in creative writing and a couple of credits and portfolios that I can. How can I submit you a resume to you? Really like the message. And well, like I said, we're not necessarily taking resumes and stuff. Not yet. We might be doing that in the future, like late summer, but not right now. Not right now. Right now, the only time people will be able to get jobs with us as far as like writing is concerned is if they win competitions that happen on Patreon. So if you're a patron member and you compete in the competition and you win, then you're gonna get paid. You're gonna get a contract with us. You're gonna get a project assigned to you. If it's an artistic assignment, then you'll also get an art team that we're gonna pick, and we're gonna supply you with a whole team. And that's what's up. That's what's gonna happen. So that's usually how that works. Let's see. I'm skipping some questions if I already answered them. So just be aware of that. Will you be recasting the entire main cast or just some? Uh, most of them, most of them. And like I said, uh, not all characters are going to be like. The bottom line is this. Uh, for instance, I know you're one of our characters, right? Uh, but with that being said, if you win the character, you win it. If you win it again, right? That's what happened last time. Last time we recast the character, right? So, so when we did it, you took the character from the previous person because I didn't feel like it was the absolute best that character could ever be, right? And I still feel that way about most of the characters. So I'm going to open them back up. But if the old voice actor who owned the character before is still the best voice actor out of everybody that competes, then they might win the character again anyway. So you still have a chance of owning the character that you had in the previous round. I mean, in the previous thing. All right. So, but I just didn't feel like it was the absolute best I've ever had. We'll never be able to replace ever again. So just fight for it. Fight for it. You might win them again. You know. uh, let's see. Let's see. Any tier qualifies. So if you're a $5 tier patron or a $20 tier patron, you qualify to invest in the company early. With that being said, there's a lot of specific exclusive stuff that happens for the $20 investors. We have private meetings, we have private conversations sometimes. We disclose a lot more information to those people, mostly because those people, right? Those $20 investors, they want more information on what's going on with the company, more, data, right? So we give them more data. We give them more data. We also give them certain training and stuff like that. So business advice, if they need business advice, we usually are pretty receptive to business questions and stuff like that for themselves. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. Let's see. Will you be interested in hiring a social media manager, community events manager? I don't know about social media manager, but definitely an events manager might be good. An events manager might be really good. We do want to have like initiatives. Like we want to have more initiatives with Black Sands, more events, more campaigns that people could be a part of. So that's definitely possible. That's definitely possible. Definitely hit us up on that. All right. With your portfolio, right, and everything else. That's something that don't need to be a patron member to get working with us on. We just need to see strong results in the past, right? You get strong results in the past, then we're willing to pay for those results in the future. So shoot your shot. Let's see. I'm seeing here. I'm trying to go through this. If you buy stock, do you get a certificate? What's the process? Yeah, so if you're an investor on Patreon, not Patreon, on WeFunder, you will have a contract. You'll have a contract. It'll be signed. They'll tell you how much stock you bought, how much you paid for it, right? And it's yours. It's in your portfolio. So previous investors in the past, they can go to their portfolio right now on WeFunder and they'll find their contract, right? And you'll get a contract too. When we're done with the investment round, it's all over. You'll get a signed copy. I'm gonna countersign it, and that's gonna be the end of it. All right. But that happens at the end of the campaign. How do I invest ASAP? April 1st is the earliest you'll invest. And that's if you're a patron member or a previous investor. Be ready and save that money. Also, for you guys who don't know, we have a special gimmick that we're going to do. It's like a cool thing that everybody's going to want to be a part of, right? So anybody who invests $500 or more, will get a silver metal card. So we're going to give you cards, a metal card that's going to say, uh, you know, investor in the Black Sands. He said, official investor in the Black Sands Entertainment, silver tier, right? And that's going to be a card that you get to own forever. It's going to have like raw on there and like silver, like a silver outline. It's going to be lit. It's going to be a lit official card for you if you invest over $500. And it's going to be a gold version of that as well, metal card, right? For investors that do over $1,000. That's going to be a special perk in the investment round. So if you're looking to invest, save some money if you want to get those cards. You want to get that so you can be a card carrying member of the Black Sands family. I kind of want this to be like a secret thing. Like you apply for a job. Imagine you apply for a job, right? And then you just pull out the card and you say, "Hey, what's going on, man?" And then they pull out a card too, say, "Okay, let's see what we could do for you here. Let's see what we could do to get you into this job real quick." Just like the fraternities do. You know how you have your fraternities, right? And they be pulling strings for their frat brothers and sorority sisters. You know what I mean? So I want that to be a thing for Black Sands. So I think the card is going to be a cool little like thing that we have internally, right? So you a card carrying member of the Black Sands family, right? I think that's gonna be lit. I think that's gonna be lit. We're gonna do that for real. Brandon Lambert says, "What is the lore master requirements? You gotta host games. You gotta host D&D games. You gotta build them. You gotta be a part of them. You just gotta have a really good resume as already being in the space. I don't want anybody that's new to this space. They gotta have a resume. I already have somebody that I've worked with in the past who's a very good candidate for something like this. So but there's gonna be more than one. I think this is gonna be more than one because we're really massively expanding the Black Sands universe, and we're actually making a video game. So we're gonna need that anyway. We're gonna need these people. Let's see. What is a Patreon member? It's just somebody who has subscribed on our Patreon community. So if you go to patreon.com, that's patreon.com/Black Sands, and I'll put it in the comment section now. Right. I don't know if they'll post on LinkedIn, right? But if you go here, patreon.com/Black Sands and subscribe, you'll get access to all our comic books. You'll get access to our investment round early on April 1st. You'll get access to all the competitions when they happen, right? You're gonna get all that access. So I just put the link in the comment section. Feel free to use it if you want to become one of our members. You can download literally $200 worth of comic books on the first day. Just download it straight up. Just go over there, click the link. The first post says, "Hey, here's all these books that we just released." You can go ahead and just freaking just download that whole folder and start reading. Let's see. I'm a businessman. Okay, so here's a question about internships. We do not do internships. One thing I'm a big believer in is I do not like anyone working for me for free. And I also don't like training people, unfortunately. Right. So that's just my vibe. Right. That's just my vibe on things. I don't like anybody working for me for free because then I can't really hold them to what they're supposed to do. Right. I can't hold them accountable. So I pay everybody. Everybody, whoever works for me, I pay. Same thing on the other side. I don't want to ever train anybody. So even if I'm paying them, I don't want to train them. Right. Because if I'm training you, then you're not getting things done that helps the company grow, right? So I don't like training people as well. So that's double-edged sword, right? Me personally, just apply for a regular job, see what happens, see if you can get in, right? And there might be opportunities there, right? But that's the way it works right now. Don't worry, I'm not an elitist. I'm not elitist when it comes to who can apply and who can get the job. Some jobs are very entry level, so never know. Hey, you just got your Eventbrite tickets. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I'm gonna see you at the event. I'm gonna see you. You bringing your wife too or spouse? Because I do allow people to bring their spouses, right? I like it when spouses are there. You know why? Because this is the weird and awkward situation that most people have. Here's the awkward situation. Honey, are you really investing in a comic book? I don't understand why you're investing $5,000 in a comic book. That's so weird. That conversation does happen sometimes. And in that situation, I want them to be there, right? That awkward situation. I want them to be there when they see the number go through the freaking roof and we go into the millions, right? When we do millions of dollars in sales, and they get to see it personally, and they see all these people super excited and happy, and they see like kids on the screen, like going crazy about all the stuff that's being created and stuff, and the parents and teachers and educators who are there talking about curriculum, and then they're gonna realize, holy crap, this ain't just a comic book. This is a cultural phenomenon, right? So I kind of want you to bring your spouses, if they're not down, to so they can learn and see it for themselves and be like, wow, this is really something much bigger than just a comic book, right? It's time to make everyone a believer. It's time to bring our friends and family and make them believers, man. So I appreciate you. And I'll see you. And we'll damn sure take pictures. We'll take pictures together. What up, boss? Hey, I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be watching for you, man. I see you in my comment section, and you look like you're a pretty qualified person in a lot of spaces. I see you. I see you, and I'm gonna be looking for you. I'm gonna be looking for your stuff, man. Let's see here. Is just writers of novels or are screenwriters needed too? I don't know about screenwriters. That's kind of very technical. So I don't know. With that being said, screenwriters can definitely apply for comics because I write my comic books in screenplay format. So I'm never biased about that. If somebody's a screenwriter, I don't care so long as they can like make a good beat sheet. If you can make a good beat sheet and you can make a good synopsis and everything else and log line for your story, really pitch it, really sell it, right? Then whether you're a novelist or a screenwriter or a comic book writer, it doesn't really matter. The artist is going to dictate how they translate your words. So a screenwriter could easily make one of the best comic book series of all time, you know? So I'm not a hater on that. I write all my screenplays. Every single comic I've ever written was in screenplay format. So there you go. I believe I answered this already. How do I get my investment in early or to the right format? Wait for our link on WeFunder. So we're going to send it on April 1st, all right? Or the first week of April. And once you get that link, you'll know. Everybody will let you know that it's the right link. Everybody's going to be excited and you'll be able to invest there. It's going to literally say invest. And you're going to have to do all this stuff. You're going to have to put your information in. You're going to have to put your information in. So all you guys now that think the government's after you, I'm letting you know right now, you're probably going to have to put your social security number in. Just letting you know. You're going to have to do that because this is not like Kickstarter. This isn't where you're donating money. You're buying stock, and that stock is regulated by the SEC, filed with the government. So the government needs to know, and they're going to know, and they're going to ask you for your personal information. So be prepared for that. Also, if you're an investor from Canada, if you're one of the Canadian investors, Canada has really weird rules on WeFunder and other platforms that do Regulation CF. Personally, you won't be able to invest. My suggestion to you is to make a company. Just make a company. If you really want to invest in Black Sands, make an LLC or whatever the hell is available in Canada, and then invest with that company. All right. Make sure that the company is based in a region that's allowed to invest. So I think Toronto is one of the places that allowed to invest in Regulation CF companies, whereas like Quebec or whatever doesn't allow it. So check on that early. WeFunder has information on this as well. So go to WeFunder, go to the FAQ. They're going to tell you all about Canada and how Canada works, right? There's ways to get around it. Don't be disappointed on that day. Be like, dang, I really wanted to invest. I'm a huge fan. That's how it used to be for the last couple of years. The Canadian fans couldn't invest and it sucked for them. Other people could, like Britain, they didn't care. Most of Europe, no regulations, right? South Africa, A-OK, right? But places like Canada, they had certain rules to stop you from investing. All right. So just be prepared. Be prepared early. Make sure that you can invest before the investment round begins. You can't invest today. You gotta wait. You gotta wait until April 1st. I feel you though. I feel you. I feel you. Get the tickets to the summit. Get the tickets to the summit. I sent the email out to everybody. I believe you got the email. If you didn't get the email, I'm gonna do another post today for you guys on Patreon. So check the recent post for Patreon later tonight, and I'll make sure that you all have the link and the discount code. All right, so you can go to the summit and meet us in person and take some pictures, get some books signed, all that good stuff. Okay. Let's see. Where do we access our investment paperwork? If you already invested in us before, it's in your portfolio. So just click your account and go to portfolio. And you'll find all your paperwork for every single company you ever invested in with Black Sands. With that being said, I have a horror story for a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys are gonna have a horror story. So there's a lot of people who got refunded. A lot of people who got refunded in the last 3 investment rounds that we did because they came in after we had already hit our max goal. So, you know how everybody rushes in at the end? Like they procrastinate and then they get in at the very end of the investment round, or they weren't aware because they were looking on Instagram and Instagram was shadow banning me. So you didn't see my post about the investment round until it was too late. When you invest, when we're oversubscribed, because we're going to be oversubscribed for at least 6 days, most likely you're going to get refunded. If you're refunded, you don't get stock in our company. You just get your money back. And those people had their hearts broken. There's at least 1,000 people over the last 2 years who got refunded and had their hearts broken because they just invested late. They were the last ones in, right? So, as Ricky Bobby would say, if you're not first, you're last. Make sure that you're one of the first people to invest in this investment round. Do not be one of them edge investors at the very end because you might not make it in. And then you're going to be yelling at me talking about why did you give my money back? And I'm be like, I got nothing to do with it. That's the system. The system will kick back the money to those who invest last because they're oversubscribed. Don't be last, be first. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. Let's see. I believe I just answered this one. How do you become a patron? Just go to patreon.com/Black Sands and subscribe. Also, in the description, I believe in the description of this video, look at the description of this video. Please sign up for that list if you haven't signed up yet. That is the investor exclusive list. It's a double opt-in list, which means you give your best email address. And after you sign up, we're going to send you another email saying you signed up for this list, correct? When you hit that one and you confirm that on that second email, it now is guaranteed all the emails that come from that list from now on are going to go into your inbox. And that list has phone numbers. So when you give us your phone number, you'll actually get a text about the investment round when it begins. That text will give you a direct link to the investment round. So that's why we're also collecting your phone number as well. We want to make sure that you get the information first. And we can't rely on emails. We want to make sure at least we can text you as well. So get on that list. That is the MailChimp list that's in the description of this video. All right. Make sure to sign up for that. It's free. It's 100% free. You're just a part of basically the first wave of investors. Let's see. This is kind of stuff that's not really in my hands, right? If we need it, it'll most likely be decided by someone else, like a project lead or something like that. It's not something that I'm personally going to be like, I got to find me a music lead. And most likely that's going to be done at a different level than where I'm at. You know what I mean? So that's why I haven't mentioned it, but it's most likely going to be something that we're going to need, but I'm not going to be in charge of any of that recruitment or any of that initiative stuff. That's why I didn't bring it up. You know what I mean? All the stuff that I'm talking about now is stuff that I'm literally in charge of. So I'm going to be doing most of that stuff. Nicholas Brown said, how much is the patron? $5 or $20 a month, whichever one you like. You can also sign up yearly. A lot of people have been doing that recently just so they don't have to worry about it. So they sign up for a yearly account, call it a day. A lot of benefits. You have voice acting competitions. You have patron writing competitions where you could be a published writer for us. You have $200 worth of comic books you can download on day one. We have our Discord community and obviously early access to our investment round. So sign up today. Where will books be sold in the process of boosting it besides through Black Sands? If you're talking about blacksands.com, that's where most of our books are sold. We also sold on Amazon, and we're going to be selling directly to school districts as well. So we're distributing directly to school districts. So I'm unable to buy tickets online, never receive emails. I don't understand what that means. But hit us up. Hit us up if there's any issues. Like on Instagram. I do see the DMs on Instagram. Please be specific. I see all the DMs on Instagram. If I never responded to you on Instagram, it's because you are being very vague. I get a lot of DMs on Instagram. So don't be vague. Be like, "Hey, I have a question about Patreon. I haven't received X, Y, and Z, and I was wondering if A, B, and C." That's a very specific question. If you say, "Hey, I have a question," I'm ignoring you. "How are you doing?" I'm ignoring you. "I got a really cool idea." I'm ignoring you because I don't take the solicitations. so so be very specific, very calculating on what you're saying, and most likely I won't ignore you. I'll respond to you and I'll get you the answers you need. All right. Did the app investment transfer happen yet? Nope, not yet. Not yet. We're still doing all the stuff legally required for creating the new shares for the company in order to do this next investment round and also the transfer of shares from BSP to BSE. So that's not done yet. It's not done yet. It will be done, but it won't be done. It might not be done even before the investment round begins. So, but it will happen. It will happen. So just chill. You'll definitely be notified of what's going on once it happens, and it'll still be done through WeFunder. So there's no outside platform. Both campaigns were managed by WeFunder, so none of the paperwork will like magically disappear. It'll just go from BSP to BSE. Are you planning Black Sands to be a long story like Naruto and Dragon Ball? Maybe not as long as Dragon Ball, but definitely as long as Naruto. Definitely not as long as Dragon Ball, though. Dragon Ball never ends. Dragon Ball never ends. So, but Naruto, yes. I think Naruto is a good scope. It's a good scope. We'll see. Uh, Here's a good question. How do returns work for the investment round? Well, the reality is, until you can sell your shares, there is no return. It's just growth. Do my stock grow or not grow? Right. So that's really what you're going to be tracking is growth from round to round. If we do a investment round this time around, it's $30 million valuation. If our next investment round is a $50 million valuation, your stock has grown. Your stock has grown in value, right? If our next investment round is $20 million, then your stock has decreased in value, right? So you just got to track that until we go public. And once we go public, when you start selling on the market, that's when you can actually sell your shares. We'll probably do a stock split before we do our public round. That way, people can sell a portion of their shares instead of all of their shares and still hold on to some. But yeah, that's how it's going to work. That's how it's going to work. I'm also getting very tired, so I'm running out of energy. I'm running out of energy here. Please. With that being said, it's just the season. The season's brutal on me. It's kicking my butt. But I'm just excited about this. I'm excited about it. You know, Giselle has a message for everybody. Don't forget to sign up for the event in Harlem at the Schomburg on May 7th. We will be accepting resumes. Our signed creators under the Black Sands will also be there for books and signing. Yeah, that's 100% true. Other creators will be there. It'll be a very big, grand experience. I sent you the email already. So look at your emails. Check it. M. Godoy. Look for M. Godoy. It might be in your spam. It might be in your promotions tab. You never know what Google does. Check those. Check that email. Special codes inside. Secure your tickets now. Don't be late. All right. Because once tickets are gone, that's it. You ain't going to be able to meet us. You ain't going to be able to come out to the event. None of that. So get in there as soon as possible. All right. We can't wait to see you. We can't wait to see you. Someone asked, is Terrence still with the team? Nope. No longer with the team. Which patron tiers have access to the Hieroglyph comics? No one, none. That was a special Kickstarter campaign that happened last summer. Those are going to be printed. I think we have 750 ordered. So we have 750 sets ordered of the Hieroglyph Anniversary Edition books. We might sell to our patrons and previous investors the rest of them because there's going to be 1,000 printed and never printed again. Only 1,000 ever, ever, ever. Right. And those additional sets might be sold to patrons and our previous investors. So keep an eye out for it, but it's very, very limited at this point. Most of them already been sold to the Kickstarter members. Is the investment information in the email we received? Well, we haven't started yet. So no, there's no investment information in that last email. What is in that last email is the link to this meeting, the link to the Eventbrite event. So we're gonna have it at Harlem. So those tickets are there as well, and also a link to our patron community. Those are the three links that are in the last email that was there. By the way, check that email if you're not following me on LinkedIn. If you're not following me on LinkedIn or connected to me on LinkedIn, then you got a problem. All right. I talk professionally on LinkedIn. I have opportunities on LinkedIn that I don't have on Instagram or TikTok. So be sure to be following me on LinkedIn if you're ever planning on working at Black Sands. Okay. Let's see. The initial investors are not common stockholders. They're all preferred shares. Everybody got preferred stock. So everybody got preferred stock if they're investor in our company. We don't give up voting rights. We like making sure that we're always in control of the company. So voting rights are never given to anybody, just us. So Darren Long, so long as Darren Long invests before the $500,000 is invested, Darren Long will receive $300 to $500 in additional stock. All right. So we can't wait to have you, Darren. We can't wait to have you. You also get that gold card. You also get that gold card as well. And like I said, you're going to get 300 to 500 additional dollars of stock with your investment, so long as you're invested before we hit 500K. So can't wait to have you on our team, man. You're going to love it here. We have a great company. We have a great community. I'll let you, boy. You'll see it when we open the round. When you open the round, you'll be able to see all the documentation and everything else for the company. The stock price is not set in stone right now, so we don't have it for you. New York educator here. What's up? Do you receive voice work and a tie-in to Raise do voice work and a tie-in to education? What can we look at for educator positions? That's going to be right after the investment round. Right after the investment round, we're going to be hiring like crazy for educational reps, teachers, and also account managers. So stay tuned for that. It's definitely 100% the biggest part of our initiative. We're going to be hiring like crazy for this. So, yeah, this is going to be where the majority of our money is going to be spent over this next year. So be prepared for that. What is the updated ETA on the hieroglyph covered signed comics? That's going to be late June is the earliest. Although I wouldn't be surprised if it's August. I wouldn't be surprised. We have to do 4 more comics. So we have to literally create 4 more comics before we can print them all. So that's a lot of work, especially with how hectic things are going right now because of the investment round and everything else. Might be some delays, right? But at least you'll get all the digital comics most likely by June. You'll definitely get the actual digitals. Physicals, that might take an additional time because it takes a while to get physicals. It's like 2 to 3 months for shipping. So, you know what I mean? So, but yeah. Any need for a business loan broker and consultant? Not really, not necessarily. With that being said, you never know. You never know. Are you able to view your personal investment growth? Not really, but you can see your stock price. I think in your contracts it says your stock price, so how much you paid for it, what your price is currently for stock price. So if you look at the next round and it says stock price is this, that's what your new stock price is, and you just do math at that point, right? You say, here's the new stock price, here's my stock price. I freaking divide it, right? And it'll give me a percentage on how much growth I've had, right? Say, oh, okay, I'm 250% in the green. Great, right? So that's how it works. So just check your stock price and then go from there. Do you offer critiques for manuscripts? Nope. Nope, we can't do it. I don't review any solicitations. I don't review any solicitations at all. Way too busy, and I get a lot of them. So we only review submissions that are done through competitions. We always review all of it. What's the minimum cost for investment rounds? $100. $100 is the minimum cost. Does Kevin Hart have any involvement in Black Sands? Well, we did back out of the deal with Shark Tank. So they're not stockholders anymore, right? They didn't own stock. We didn't take the money. That didn't happen. With that being said, we're still in negotiations. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when it comes to the actual films, right? There might be something there, but me personally, I wouldn't make a decision based off of his involvement. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't make a decision today on investing in the company based off of the involvement of Kevin Hart because until that's official, there's no reason to consider it, right? So we'll see what happens. I'll definitely let you guys know if anything does happen officially, right? But I wouldn't make any decisions based off of that. You know what I mean? Is there a link to the in-person summit? Are you on any of our email lists? Because I sent emails out. Or a patron member? If you're not, just sign up for a Patreon. It'll be there. I'll send it. I'm sending it out tonight. Tonight, I'm giving the link on Patreon. So if you're a Patreon member, you'll see the link. You'll see the link. But if you're not on any of our email lists, you don't got the link. You don't got the link right now. So hey, look at that. Yeah, go get it, man. Go get it. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna need that. We're gonna need QA. We're gonna need QA for the video games for sure, right? But a lot of the video game stuff is also gonna be open to the patrons. They get to play it, beta test it, put their ideas in, right? It's gonna be a very big experience for the community as a whole to make this game. So we'll see. What happens to people who invested in the BSP app? You're gonna be transferred over to BSE. We're doing that internally. We're gonna have BSE buy out all the stock and Black Sands Publishing. It's a rescue boat. We're rescuing you guys from an app that didn't work out, right? The app didn't work out, so we're closing it, and we're also bringing you all into BSE as stockholders. Everybody I've talked to about this says it's a great idea because that's really what they wanted to invest in the first place, the main corporation. So we're rescuing you guys, all you guys who invested. You're all being a part of the Black Sands Entertainment empire without having to pay an additional fee. Now, if you still want to buy more stock, that's your call, right? But you're going to be issued stock in Black Sands Entertainment. I can't find a discuss discount code in the email. Did you? Oh, just check it in the second section. It should say. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Uh, so here's the word. Uh, he said it's right under the Steve Harvey meme, right? Attention, please. Before you go, attention, please, right? And it says, I'm giving you exclusive access to tickets of our live convention in Harlem on launch day, May 7th. Use code blank before the end of Sunday to get 50% off tickets. Secure yours now on Eventbrite. And then the buttons right below it that you can go to Eventbrite. So just copy that discount code and use it, and you'll get that 50% off. It's right there. All right. And you might have just overlooked it, but it's there. You got it. Let's see. Any positions remote? A lot of positions are remote. Like sales reps are remote positions. When it comes to account managers and stuff, you're not going to meet these people unless the sale's going through, right? If the sale's going through, if you're securing a $30,000-$40,000 order and they want to meet you, sure, go out there and talk to them, right? But for the most part, these are all calls. These are all like Zoom meetings and stuff. That's how you get these business deals. So I don't really care the location of our account managers and stuff in the educational space, right? I more care about whether they can actually get to the right people, whether they can find who's the right person to talk to and get the relationship built. So yeah. There's no exact time, man. We might not even be done with the audit by then. So hopefully we're done by the audit and we filed everything with the SEC and we can launch on April 1st. Don't worry about exact time. We're going to give you a heads up. We're going to give you a good 48 hours heads up of the exact moment when we plan on launching. All right. I know you're excited. I know you're ready to go. Don't worry. You should be able to make it in the first 500K. Okay. Get your guns ready. We're about to roll out. I don't have anyone in Europe. We'll see what happens. We'll have to discuss that, do strategy calls later on, as far as like how we can expand out there in Europe as well. But that's not on the immediate docket, right? It's not something that's on the. It's not something that we're concerned about at this very moment. But we'll see. We'll see because there's a lot of people over in Britain and France and the Netherlands that are hardcore down for the cause of Black Sands. So I think we have a lot of opportunities out there. We just got to take them. Yes, this is correct. Your assessment is correct. You will get you will get shares in BSC with that money that you put into BSP. So that whatever you put into BSP, that's going to be converted over to BSC at the current round. So whatever the current round's valuation is, that's basically the investment that you're going to be going at. Okay? And the original 500, if that was in the first round or second round or whatever, that's grown a lot. That's grown a lot since then. Is Black Sands going RTS? We're gonna be making a tactical RPG, a Japanese RPG. So we're gonna make it something like Octopath Traveler. So the video game they're producing is gonna be very much like Octopath Traveler. You'll love it. Remember, for everybody who just got in here, the tickets to the summit is happening right now. Check your emails if you got them from us, or check Patreon later on tonight when I post the email and when I post the link to the Eventbrite event. You can go meet us in person in New York, in Harlem. We're gonna have an amazing summit together. We're gonna have signed books. We're gonna have pictures. We're gonna talk about job opportunities and accept resumes and talk about all the crazy stuff going. And we're gonna have the launch of the campaign on the screen at a big 300 seat theater for us, only us. So it's gonna be an amazing event. You definitely want to be there. Bring your spouse, bring your partner, and let's go have a great time. Also, join our Patreon community if you want to be an investor early. That's something that's big. I put the link right now in the Patreon community. So here you go. I'm giving you guys the link right here. You can use it. Join our Patreon community. $5 a month if you want, 20 if you want. It don't matter. You do a year, it doesn't matter. You get all of our comic books, you get all of our competitions, you get all of our opportunities. Everything goes to you first before everybody else because you're part of the Black Sands family. Yeah, Schomburg's amazing, right? The Schomburg's an amazing place. If you ever been to the Black Comic Book Festival, you know that place is lit. That place is lit. It's an amazing experience. I'm glad we got it. They don't give it to everybody. They gave it to us exclusively because we've done so many big things in the Black community. They're giving us an opportunity to be at their venue, but they don't rent it out. You can't. There's no place to apply to get it. You gotta they just gotta let you in if they want to, and they let us in, man. They let us in. So we are super excited about having the opportunity to be there, to run it for a day. And it's really going to be a most memorable experience of all time for everybody. It's going to be beautiful. Giselle said, when discussing 3D to 2D, 2D is less expensive, and that's what most of the fans wanted. Yeah, most of the fans want 2D anime. It's a big stigma against 3D anime. So we're going 2D. 2D is beautiful. Uh, if I just become a patron now, do I have access to the perks? Yep. All the perks of patron is immediate. Immediate. So whatever happens in patron that's supposed to be only patron, you're gonna get it if you're here when patron happens. You get comic books immediately on signing. Like the first post you see is gonna be comics, whole bunch of comics. You can just download them all, and the investment round will begin on April 1st. Most likely, might be a week later, but you'll be way before the regular investors on May 7th. May 7th, everybody gets to invest. Patrons invest early. Investors who invested before invest early, so long as they check their emails. All right. This is a big time for everybody here to go to your emails and make sure that you're getting them in your inbox and not your promotions tab. You don't want to miss you don't want to miss emails in the next 2 months. You don't want to do that. You want to get all of them. So green light us, put us in your inbox, literally right click our email and say, I want this to be in our inbox. And then you won't have to worry about us going into the spam or the promotions tab or anything else anymore. We'll be right at the front of your inbox so you can see all the great opportunities that's going to be happening. Okay? Very important. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, Audible. Yeah, we never know. We never know about that because it might be a thing. It might be a thing that might be really good for us. Never know. I don't know. Audible's interesting. Audible's interesting. Novel division, absolutely. Absolutely. When we do the novel division, we want those fully acted. So if there's a novel series, let's say on Epidemic and MSME, right? We want Epidemic and MSME to be characters in the novel. Like we want them actually acted, like through Audible. So we'll see. We'll see, right? But I 100% believe that I love audibles for where the characters are actually the characters, and there's a narrator and stuff like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Mario said he's a big investor and it's worth it. Yeah, a lot of you'd be surprised how many big investors we've had in the past. We've had some really, really big investors. Like one of our major investors who was a leader in the investment round for BSP is Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown don't play no games when it comes to Black Sands. And he was very disappointed in the Shark Tank deal. He was like, man, he said he's stealing our wealth. Well, we ended up not doing the Shark Tank deal, right? So it worked out for him, right? Because he's like, you can't just come into our company and take a large portion when we built it. And it's true. And Kevin Brown is one of our biggest investors. He's invested a massive amount in us. And I believe currently his stock that he has in our company is worth over $100,000 now. I believe it's worth over $100,000. He invested like $17,000, $18,000 in the first round. You know what I mean? So in the first round, when we were nobodies, he invested like 17, $18,000. Same thing with Sabrina. Sabrina invested like $17,000 in our company, first round, and we've gotten like 5 times bigger since then. So their stock price is crazy right now, crazy, and it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Those first rounders are happy as hell right now. So proud of you, Mario. We made the right call. You made the right call, invested in us, and hopefully we keep doing big things for the community together, man. I think so, but I would just look onto it. I would go to wefunder.com right now and go check the FAQ. But I believe the Caribbean islands can invest just like anybody else. I'm pretty certain. I'm pretty certain. I have two friends who want to compete. Well, the thing about it is this, right? I don't care if because I let people invite their family to voice act as well, like compete. So this is kind of the referral thing. If you're an account holder, right? If you're an account holder on Patreon and you want one of your friends to compete and they're not an account holder on Patreon, they can use you as a reference, right? So they just put that in their application. My friend referred me to this, right? And I'll accept a couple of those. That's not a problem because I accept people inviting their husbands, their wives, right, or their kids to compete. So you can do that as well. It's not a problem, right? Somebody got to be connected, but I let it ride, right? Not everybody has to sign up individually. It don't mean they shouldn't. I'm just saying that they don't have to. In all honesty, I would literally go to WeFunder and read the FAQ. The FAQ tells you all the logic behind investing and how it works and the long-term ramifications of it. So really go to refunder.com, look at the FAQ and just read. That's the best way. You know, the way they explain it is this. And this is the most simple terms. Let's say I'm going into a round and my valuation in WeFunder is 30 million, right? If you invest with my valuation at 30 million, it's because you believe in the future the company will be worth more than $30 million. That's the bet you're making. If you don't believe that, if you think they'll be worth less than 30 million, then you don't invest because it's a bad investment. If you think it's going to be worth more than 30 million, then it's a good investment. How much more? Who knows? But the whole point is if it increases at all, then you have won. So that's the logic they have when it comes to whether to invest or not invest in a company. If you think that they'll be able to get over that valuation number, then it's a good investment. Would you get both cards if we invest in $1,000? Uh, no. I'm not sure though. I don't know. I think that would just be complicated to give two different cards, you know? Uh, and it kind of doesn't mean anything because one's more elite than the other, right? One's more elite than the other. So I don't know. We'll have to discuss that internally, right? We'll have to discuss that internally. They are nice cards. So I can understand the logic behind wanting to have both. I do understand the logic behind wanting to have both. But we'll see. And I see that question came up a couple of times. How many questions that I probably had a lot of questions. I just didn't get to them because it's so many. All right, check it out. We've been doing this for about 2 hours, right? So I'm gonna answer about 5 more questions, right? And then I'm gonna call it a day. At this point, for everybody here, make sure to get those tickets. Go to your email address right now and check the emails. If you're a patron or you just signed up for patron, right? If you just signed up for patron, you can get those tickets tonight. I'm gonna go and put it up down here. Let me see. But make sure everybody can see it. Yeah, so let me see. I got one of these things here. There's a ticker. Let's see. Let me go use this one and I'll edit it just so you guys can see it right. Edit it. There we go. So I'm saving that right there. This is it right here. Patreon.com/Black Sands. Subscribe now. You're gonna get the opportunities that you need. And if you're not on our email list, so you missed the emails for the Eventbrite event in Harlem, then Patreon's the only way you're gonna be able to get to it. And I'm gonna be posting that later on today. So sign up for Patreon. Now let's go back into these questions. Let's get these final questions in. Uh, and we can get this rolling. Let's see. I got the eyes from the wife when I put 1,000. Hey, don't worry about it, man. Yeah, I know that happens, right? People go and say, "What are you doing investing in comic books?" But it's all good now because those shares are going to be transferred over to Black Sands Entertainment. So you're going to have $1,000 in stock in Black Sands Entertainment. That's pretty cool. Hey, Christine, what's good? Oh, so if you guys don't know, this is my most of the emails. When you see the memes, when you see like the memes and The Rock and everybody else, that's her. That's her doing all that. All right, she's my email person, right? And she's gonna be helping me with email, social media as well. But she's been doing that like the last 4 months. She's been working with us for the last 4 months on the emails. So if you saw that the emails were a lot cooler, a lot more creative, right? That's all her. That's all her right there. You know, she's been big, and she's gonna be there too. So you get to talk to her and everything else. So we go. Giselle said she would love to hear from you guys. So this is her words. I would like to hear you guys' job skills and receive your resumes on May 7th. Hey Giselle, can you come down here for a second? If you're still watching, can you come down here for a second and just tell everybody what you expect to see from them on the summit? I'm sure they would like to hear from you directly. So just come down here, explain what you want to see at the summit, what you're experiencing, and I'm sure they want to hear from you because you're out here spitting some game in the comment section. All right, I think Giselle's coming right now. She's going to give you some words. Let's go and pull that up. Gigi, what's good? All right, so I'm going to hand it off to Giselle real quick, and she can go and tell you about the summit and what she expects from you. You can have the seat. You can have the seat. You can have the seat. Go ahead, have a seat. You get the Warcraft seat. Remember, you gotta go right to the mic.
Oh, okay. So yes, I wasn't expecting to be on the live summit today. Today was just a relaxing day to me. I was just gonna be a laid back day, but Manuel, he wanted me to join. So I hope I get to see all you guys at the May 7th event at the Schomburg. It's gonna be a fantastic event. And at this event, I want you guys to bring in your resume and you can hand it to me or Manuel. We'll review your resume to see if you're a good fit. And it's always just good to meet us in person to network, to get to know who we are, and we get a chance to know who you are and build that, relationship. So that would be great. And I'm just so excited for the opportunities that we have for you guys. And Black Sands has grown tremendously in the last 6 years. So we put in a lot of hard work and effort, you know, to grow the company. It's not easy, I have like 10 jobs that I'm responsible for.
She's way too worked. Let me tell you
I
something.
am.
I'm gonna let Giselle. Giselle, I want you to tell them about how you secured the biggest order we've ever had with schools in
Yes.
freaking Birmingham, Alabama. Tell them
Yes.
about that. Tell that whole story.
So I would love to have some, like Manuel said, if we can recruit some people to help us sell through the educational system. So the order that I secured through the Birmingham City Schools, if you guys don't know, I am a Birmingham native. I was born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama. And it took me 5 years to secure this deal, the $37,000. What I did was me and Manuel, we went to the school district, got the name of the person that was responsible for purchasing textbooks and graphic novels. And I just kept a personal and great relationship with her throughout the years. And so she finally decided to buy the books, um, the Black Sands books. And she bought the 1,600 books for the sixth graders throughout the entire district of Birmingham, Alabama, which was great. And she ordered additional books for the school libraries throughout Alabama. So it's great. And I also have a potential deal with Montgomery County Schools in Maryland. If I close out this deal, me and Manuel will be able to teach independent publishing for high school students. So who knows? I probably will be needing teachers to help us teach these events, and we will definitely be paying a competitive wages.
Oh
For
yeah,
these
you're making $1,500 in one day.
yeah, $1,500 you could potentially make in one day, each day that you teach these courses to the high school students throughout Maryland, and also New York City. I'm talking to them now. They're interested in purchasing books um, for I think it's Staten Island, Manhattan, the Bronx. So they're interested in purchasing books to a large amount of books for the New York City School Library and the schools. So that can be a huge, huge deal. So that's my job, but I do need help because I can't do it all by myself. I really, really need help. And I'm looking for qualified candidates at the May 7th event. So also, I'm in charge of the finances too. So if you ever wanted to know, oh, what Black Sands is doing financially, I'm over that. So I would love to hire a CPA if you guys have a degree as far as being a CPA, that would be great. I'm also in charge of logistics. So the books that you have in your hands, I'm in charge of ordering all those books. Like, say, for instance, I can make a purchase order of 20, 30,000 books in overseas, and I make sure those books get shipped to us successfully. So I'm in charge of that too. And also just getting PR press.
Also, baked chicken. She's in charge of baked chicken. So I don't cook none of the baked chicken in the house. I cook the steaks. She's the baked chicken woman, right? So she's helping stuff, so I can still do my job because I'm a very unhealthy guy. So she makes sure that I stay healthy and I work out and everything. She's an amazing wife. We about a billion years in now. How many years are we in?
This year will be 14 years
14
married.
years. 14.
Yeah.
You look how young I look. So 14 years is a very significant portion of my life, right? So this is a great black couple, black team,
Yeah.
Black Sands.
And we work together every day. People, they be like, well, how do you guys work together every day? How can you guys be around each other like that? It's just we know what we were destined to do: inspire the Black community. That is our destiny. That's what was designed to do in life. And we just love to be around each other. So we make a great husband and wife team. And yeah, so I'm going to leave the rest to Manuel. And it was great to talk to you guys. I hope you guys have a good weekend.
Yeah, so she gave me a good break too, man. I needed a break too. My voice is about to disappear on everybody. But yeah, we've had a great experience over these last couple of years. She's a great woman, right? You'll have a great time when you meet us. We're gonna have you're gonna be able to meet King Lion, boy. King Lion's gonna be there, man. You know how crazy King Lion is. He's gonna be a big voice for you guys, man. You can talk about comics and everything. It's just gonna be one of those once in a lifetime experiences. Definitely get them tickets. Sign up for the Patreon community, and be a part of that. And the tickets will go out tonight for anybody who hasn't got emails, right? So long as you're a patron. And the investment round will begin on the first week of April. First week of April. You never know, right? I'm gonna scroll all the way down to the end because I have a million questions here. So I'm gonna skip a hell of a lot of questions and just see what the most recent questions are. Because like I said, I was only gonna answer like 5 questions. So this is a ridiculous amount of questions. How many comments did y'all leave? What in the devil is this? I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Okay, here we go. We're finally at the end. All right. So now 5 questions from this point of the video feed. Now I can go. All right. Let's see what we got here. Adam Thomas, he got some tickets. He's gonna bring his resume to the summit. Appreciate you, man. uh, yeah, for people who absolutely cannot make it to the summit, later at a later date, will allow you guys to get virtual tickets, right? So you'll get virtual tickets, so you'll be able to see all the panels, still be a part of that. That's gonna be fun. Can we film at the summit? Uh, not in the panel room, but outside the panel room, absolutely. Outside the panel room, absolutely, but not in the theater. The theater is kind of like our stuff. We're still gonna have like streaming, so it's gonna be streamed, right? But no cameras in there. You know what I mean? Because that's just annoying. Is there any possibility in a live action? Nope, not now. Maybe later, but not right now. Jack, I'm glad to invest twice and looking forward to investing again. Keep up the great work, Team BSP. Thank you, appreciate you, man. See, this is the thing that I think a lot of people don't know. Especially people uh, who's new, right? Is that there's a lot of misinformation about Black Sands, right? There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a certain there's a certain section of the TikTok community that for some reason paints me as some big villain or something. Like I'm like the worst person in the world to them or whatever, right? So they make all these crazy stories about me, right? And but reality is this: if I was such a bad guy, why would people invest in me three times? Why would people be investors three different times over years? Why would they do that? Why would they expose their kids to me? Like what? Why would they get books for their kids and their grandkids? Why would grandparents love my content? Grandparents like 70, 80 years old, diehard Black Sands fans. Why? The reality is because numbers don't lie, reality doesn't lie. I do stuff for real in real life that's very good for people, right? And because of that, people trust me. Now you could have emotional feelings about what you think I believe or whatever, right? But it's all emotions. It's not real. It's not tangible. Tangible things is I've published so many different titles about Black history before slavery. Tangible things is I've invested $100,000 into Black creators. Tangible things is I've done dozens and dozens of hours on courses on how to be an independent publisher, how to source your books, how to do successful Kickstarter raises, and I haven't charged a single dollar for any of those courses. They're 100% free on freaking YouTube and on my podcast, right? I've done way too much stuff in reality for the emotional idea of he's not humble. He's not humble. He's too arrogant, right? Those emotions, right? They're just superficial. What do you want? Do you want a boss who's responsible with money? Do you want a boss who gives opportunities to people based on their merit? You want a boss who's very honest with you instead of telling you all these lies about how happy everything is? No, you want a real person. You want a real person who's responsible, who can run productions, who gives you real answers instead of generic answers. Have you ever heard me say this? If you work real hard, if you keep on pushing, you'll be successful one day. Have you ever heard me say that? Longtime fans, have you ever heard me say that? Not once. You know why? Because it's bullshit. Working hard doesn't mean a damn thing. What matters is if you can deliver the product, if you can make the minimum viable product that's expected of you. So if you have a book, getting the book done and getting it out there doesn't matter how hard you work. You can write for freaking 7 straight months and do nothing, never release. I need you to release the title. I need you to do the actual milestone, hit it, and then move forward. A lot of people work to death and they don't ever finish the actual initial job. So what I'm telling people is very arrogantly, right? Stop doing all these stupid ideas. Finish the one ideal that you think is the best one and get it to market and see if it works. Stop wasting everyone's time. Stop working so hard. Finish the job. You know what I'm saying? That's Manuel Godoy's energy. that man woke with the right attitude. And there's a reason why I'm the best one out here. It's because I try my hardest to get the job done for everyone. I want everyone to be successful. And in order to be successful, I need you guys to focus. Focus on getting the initial task done. Don't listen to all these scammers out there selling you courses. They're selling you courses and ideas, and they ain't really telling you anything. I tell you exactly where to get your books. I tell you why you should get certain books or certain not books, why you should order 1,000 instead of 100, or why you should order 100 instead of 1,000. I give you exact answers. I don't give you fake generic stuff like, oh, you should definitely go out there and see if you can do this. I don't do that because I care about you and I really want you to actually succeed. And, some people might call that arrogance. Some people might call that, not humble enough. Me personally, I think it's just being real, right? And let's get this job done. You know what I mean? Hey, let's hear. This sounds interesting. All right, keep them honest. I work for the second largest school district in America. I'll do my part to promote Black Science. District makes movement to uplift Black students' achievements plan. Yeah, 100%. If you can get us the contact for the acquisitions officer or the person in charge of curriculum, that will be a huge step in the right direction. All right. These are the decision makers. Figure out who the heck that is. If you can get that, if you can get us in front of them in some kind of way, get us to have like a short call, meeting, or anything, we'll finish the job. All right. And we're going to pay you a finder's fee if we close the deal. We'll pay you 5%. Trust me, 5% could be a big ass number, especially if it's the second biggest school district in the nation. All right. But we'll close the deal. You just get us to the right person. All right. You get us to the right person. You're in the system right now. So let's do that. Let's see. Yeah, procurement officers and stuff like that. We need that for sure. We need to go and find them. Find all those people who are in charge, the purchasers. Let's see what we got here. This is a question I've answered before, but I'll answer it again because it's pretty easy to answer. The signed books are not finished yet. We're not finished with any of the comics. Remember, it's the whole season that you got on Kickstarter. So you ordered the entire season and you put them in anniversary edition books. So until the whole season's finished, we can't ship. The full season's probably going to be done in June, and then the printing will probably take 2 to 3 months. It really depends on how fast they ship, but most of the time it takes 2 to 3 months. All right. So and then they're yours. After I sign them, I send them right off and I seal them because these are special, never to be printed again books. So I'm gonna be sealing them so they don't get damaged. You know what I mean? So hold the line. These are very, very, very exclusive books. Hold the line. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. We will see you in New York. Appreciate you. Appreciate you 100%. You and the missus. We'll see you in New York. Hey, so I appreciate you guys, all you guys. I'm about to go and relax and chill with my family. This has been a great, great session. We had an amazing time, didn't we? Didn't we have amazing time? Shout out your place, shout out your home state in the comment section. You know, kudos to you guys. I hope a lot of you guys are working with us in the next coming years. This is a community experience. This is a community that we're working with together. And no matter how much they shadow ban us on Instagram or TikTok, try to suppress our views, they can't stop the emails. That's why all you guys are on my email list because they can't hide you from a direct email. So get people on the email list, get people talking about this. Let's knock on doors. Let's talk to family members. Let's build a freaking giant empire where we can't be stopped by social media. We can't be stopped by the media. We can't be stopped by anyone because we are independent. That's the movement of Black Sands. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'm out. Peace.